Welcome to the show, guys. Anyways, so I'm gonna let Robert talk about what we talked about the last 2 weeks.
To recap real quick, nothing real specific because you certainly have those videos available now on the playlist on YouTube. So in the first, we started to learn about how to, remember who we really are and be able to differentiate between the 3D, 4D, and the 5D. And then we moved into trying to develop your truth, get to know your truth, and try to learn your passion, follow your passion to your mission. And then today we were going to say, okay, now that you know your truth, you can't live it unless you learn to speak it. So we wanted to talk a little bit about how you speak your truth and the kind of things you're going to run into when you start to speak your truth, because this is not a normal, people say, oh, I've been speaking my truth, but you've been speaking your truth as you've been living in the ego. So you've been speaking your truth where it's been expected to be taken by everybody as, oh, okay, he's conforming to the norm. Okay, but when you're speaking your truth, your real truth, instead of the ego truth, it's going to be a little different. You're going to have people that are going to reject your truth. Because it's not the you they expect you to be or want you to be or need you to be to fill their needs. And so it's going to take some strength on your part, some internal strength, and the way you're going to develop that strength first is to become clear on what your truth is. Because until you're absolutely true to yourself, honest with yourself, and I stress honest with yourself, because truth is, as you've been living in your ego, you've been lying to yourself to support those ego constructs that have been placed upon you or that you placed upon yourself. You've been living in your own self-made prison, and as you start to deteriorate and remove those ego constructs, all those bars that are keeping you out of your passion and out of your destined vision for yourself, the thing that your heart tells you you should be, okay, that is going to be difficult because some people are going to push back. And so as people push back, you need to stand your ground. Now, I used to talk to my son about this. You could look at people and you could see some people own their space. Some people don't. Now, in your ego, you typically are not a person owning your space. Okay, but when you're in your truth, it's going to be a requirement that you own your space. And what I mean by that is that you be strong in your truth. If you know your truth, it doesn't need to be defended.
I'm QuiAri Davis, and happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to Living a Healthy Lifestyle with my special guest, Robert. We've been doing a 5-week series. We're on number 3. Welcome to the show. We're talking about our spiritual journey. And so last time you missed it, we were talking about the fact that I was in a cocoon and couldn't get out for like 13 years. We're at the park right now, so if you hear some loud vehicles behind you, they'll be short-lived. But anyways, so we talked about how I was in this cocoon, and I've become this butterfly now after 13 years of my husband being gone. And I went through a whole lot of stuff. Like, I'm going to be writing a book about it. So right now where I'm at is I've had my awakening, and Robert's talking about what's going on. So this week I had some amazing things happen, Robert.
I wanted you to talk about those because we talked once a little bit about the fact that God uses coincidences as a way to be anonymous. And we also talked about when you become enlightened and you start your journey, you start to live your truth, that people will be attracted to you, and you've been seeing that. You want to tell your story?
Yeah, I have. Everywhere I go, there's people are like a magnet, and it's the good people. Like, I'm not saying not everybody's good, but I just mean healthy for me and my journey. And so people will come across my path, and I've said before, I believe people meet for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. You never know what it's going to be. So, but I'm meeting really great people. I have a new position now. I have basically a new job where I clean some Airbnbs. So that's pretty cool.
And that was something you asked for, right?
I did ask for work. So, and I did get it. So let's see what else happened. So much. Like, I wanted to start journaling all this stuff in my mind because God has just been amazing in what He's done. I've had thoughts of what I'm gonna do with my music, and I went roller skating and I met somebody to do my hair. I asked God that morning, I said, look, I said, I don't have anybody to do my hair anymore, you know? And I said, just bring that person, right? And He did. Like, He answers prayers. And I met this really great girl at the roller skating rink. She came over and did my hair outside. We did everything outside. So that was God, you know. The universe is opened up to lots of blessings, lots and lots of blessings, like so many blessings that I just can't even, like, I'm overwhelmed. I've been crying. I'm a little overwhelmed by what happened this week.
Yeah, and realize that she's talking about all the good stuff. The journey isn't necessarily all happy and smiles. You're going to run into some challenges that are going to hurt. Because what God does, and I was talking to God about this because, you know, He's still breaking my heart too sometimes, but He breaks our heart in order to break our heart open. And, you know, He also teaches us about our self-love by doing that. And so you're going to run into things like periods of separation and that kind of thing between you and people that you care about, to teach you to self-love and that kind of thing. So that's part of your journey. But what I want you to notice is that as she's been stepping into her journey, the magic is starting to come around and her eyes are open to it. And so you grow eyes and you grow ears on this journey.
Yes, I have definitely awakened. There's been a beautiful butterfly that has been flying around my RV. I worked really super hard today, and I came home and I was just like laying in the lounge chair. I didn't even go in and get to poor Teddy, and he's our mascot tonight. But this butterfly was flying around my property. The same butterfly that was flying around the day that I believe I was awakened.
Beautiful. Yeah, God's going to give you all kinds of signs like that. It's a magical universe, and you're going to find a lot of truth in nature, and that's one of the reasons why we wanted to come out here and do it in a park. We're probably going to do one at a beach or something like that. We wanted to have a couple different settings to show you that it's really important that you get in touch with nature. There's a lot of truth in nature, and just being serene in nature can bring you a lot of peace, and so we encourage that. But start to look around you. The universe is supporting you on your path. There is no mistake. The truth is, we need to not stress. Stop trying to control things. Control is the ego. Just go with it. Everything is going to be fine. You are supported, and everything works out.
And I'm seeing that, just going with the flow, and I'm waking up and just like, I have a schedule, obviously. I'm a crazy busy woman. I run a couple of businesses, so I have a busy schedule, but just getting up in the morning and like, you know, taking that extra time to, you know, thank God that we're here and we have a lot of blessings. You know, I'm very blessed to be able to stay in my RV and 7 minutes from the beach, and somebody pinch me, right? It's living the dream, living the simple life. But there's just been so much that has happened that was good, and I'm amazed. I mean, I just can't wait to see what God does next.
Yeah, you've really gone through a huge transformation in a very short period of time. And so what would you say is the one lesson that rings true in your head on a regular basis as you've been going through this transformation?
Trust.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Trust in God. He's going to take care of you. Don't trust in the news, media, or any of that. Trust in God. Just trust in what God says in your heart. And I know that I'm so blessed, and He's taking care of me. And so it's just all about letting go. Just let go.
And don't control the journey.
Yeah.
It's a really important part of this.
Because if you try to control the thing that I showed last week or the week before, is I've got fingernails. So when I try to control, I'm squeezing really super hard. And I'm trying to control everything. So, and it hurts. It actually hurts to try to control. So when I let go, it doesn't hurt anymore. And we aren't in control of what happens in the universe anyway. anyways, so why stress over it? You know, I don't know who I'm gonna meet. I didn't know I was gonna be doing this show with you.
Right.
We don't know. So I'm living my life on letting go and control, letting go of the control, and also loving myself, self-love, and it feels great to love myself. I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm not where I used to be, and that's huge, you know. My self-love was not good, guys. You have to self-love. You have to do stuff that makes you feel good. You have a family, you have priorities, but you actually have to schedule your time in your calendar. And I do different colored markers.
Okay.
Like green is my work stuff for CBD and Davis Dustbusters, the two businesses I run. Family, this is my family, you know, or time to get online and spend time with my family. And you can color court your calendar so that it's set up for you, but you've got to take time for self-love, doing something for you. And I think that's where my music comes in.
Oh yeah, music is divine. And self-love is a critical part of this journey. It really is. As I was singing to someone earlier today, I said, if you don't love you, you'll never feel the love from me. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the truth. And you probably loved somebody that didn't love themselves and experienced that from the other side of the fence. But take time to love yourself and trust in the journey and trust in faith. Trust that God in the universe is here supporting you on your journey. You don't have to stress out about it. You don't have to control it. Whenever you try to control, that's when you run into difficulties. And you were talking about holding on to something. And you know, a lot of us, when we start this journey, we've got our hands gripped tightly around that ego life. You know, I mean, I got this ego life, I gotta have the ego life, but I want the spirituality life too. And you're not willing to let go. You know what I'm saying? Let go of that. It's worthless. The only thing valuable in this world is unconditional love and shift. You let those hands go of those little ego things that you were identifying with and start to identify with that true person, that true soul within yourself that has so much to give. You know what I mean? That's when you're going to find your truth. That's when you're going to find you and you're going to be empowered. And that's what we want for you. And that's when you're going to love yourself. When you let the true you come out instead of living behind the ego bars, the things that people have placed upon you that restrict you and keep you from living your passion.
Wow, well said. Praise God. So if you just joined us, this is Living a Healthy Lifestyle. Every Monday night we're going to go somewhere cool. We're in our 3rd week series of the spiritual journey. I'm on this spiritual journey. I was in this cocoon, I was stuck. Now I'm out, I'm flying around, I'm this butterfly. Things are happening.
That can feel lonely when you first start flying. It can feel lonely because the
has.
people that were holding you and teaching you and being there for you when you first were getting ready to fly, well, when you start flooding your wings and you get in the air, guess what? They're not there. And you're going to have some periods of separation like that you're going to learn to trust you and your journey.
I actually have. I have to say I have actually cried myself to sleep.
Crying is part of the journey.
A lot, and I have not. I have not cried over anything in a long time. So.
Well, crying is healing, and those of you who haven't cried in a long time, you better cry. Because I'm telling you, it's the only way you're going to break through. If you have been not letting yourself feel your emotions, realize that is a lie. Your emotions are there for a reason. Don't suppress them, because if you suppress them, you are suppressing you.
Yep. I've learned that, like, you know, try to be strong and hold back, but no, that's not what God wants us to do. He wants us to move forward.
Live with passion.
And live with meaning, you know, like...
contribution.
And one thing I want to say is really awesome, too, is I don't look behind me. I don't look back at yesterday, because yesterday's gone. It's gone, and we can't bring it back, right?
Yesterday's gone.
Tomorrow is not here yet. So fear is not... it's not good for people to fear. So tell me what you think that means. That
Well,
fear.
well, that's absolutely true. Fear is false evidence appearing real. It's only simply there to restrict you. It does have a positive place in your life, like everything, but it has been overused to control you. And so you're going to have to cut that fear way back. Fear is actually just supposed to alert you, okay, and then move on. But it's been used to restrict you and control you. And so just start breaking that fear as you notice that's restricting you.
It's really helping me to break the fear that I had, all these fears that I had, and then all these doors are opening that I don't have that anymore. Because I talk to you guys all the time about faith and fear. They don't reside in the same room together. They can't. You can't have a faith-filled life, live a faith-filled life, and have fear. It just doesn't work that way. So what I've been trying to do is just give it to God. You know what, Lord? I don't know how this is gonna pan out. I don't know how I'm gonna get a job, but you do. And I didn't get the stimulus check. I didn't get unemployment, but you know, Lord, you know. And in your mighty name, you're taking care of me. Your son's mighty name, you're taking care of me. And you know. And these jobs, they're just coming in now for me. And things are being opened up in the universe because I also did a little forgiving too. Forgiveness is...
You actually had several people come to mind that you needed to forgive, and
Yes,
then
I'm
one
still
of them
working.
led you into a really cool coincidence where God worked for you. You want to tell that story?
Yeah, I was at the beach, and I was supposed to meet a client for CBD, and I was talking to God because I always pray before I go meet with one of my clients. I talk with God, and he's like, "You need to forgive." And then all of a sudden, and he didn't tell me who, but all of a sudden I turn around to get out of the car, and there's the girl that I need to forgive. There she is, right there, walking across the parking lot. That's the girl that I needed to forgive. That's the girl that hurt me, that I needed to let go and let God and forgive. And that was part of it. And there she was. So I had two choices. I could walk away, which I thought about it. I was a little embarrassed.
That would have been the easy path.
But you know what? I want to grow. I want to grow in my faith. I want to teach others that you can have this amazing faith. You can believe that you're gonna be okay. You can believe that. It's the devil's lie telling you that you can't do what you want to do, or that you're not gonna be okay. Don't listen to the devil's lies. We have already won the war. We have already won. The devil was already kicked out of heaven, and he was an angel, and everybody knows that. And he thought he knew better than God. So, and his days are ending, okay? So, he's under my feet. So, I know that now, and I never knew that before. I mean, I have that belief inside of me that the devil's been lying to me all this time, and then I read that book, Battlefield is the Mind. The battlefield is in the mind, telling you that you can't do this, that, or the other. And I believe I was stuck for a while in the desert. I call it in the desert because the Israelites in the Bible, they were stuck in the desert. They had an 11-day trip, and it took them 40 years. But it was in their mind.
Right.
And Moses had to listen to them complain all the time. So if you complain, you remain. And so I don't complain anymore. I don't. I'm very grateful. I'm very blessed. I'm talking about how blessed I am. And it's amazing when you do that. You turn everything around, and then all of a sudden there's all these really awesome things that keep happening. And there are just so many blessings that I can share with you guys every Monday night. But wow, I need to be journaling this stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. And the more grateful you get, the more God gives you. Because thoughts are things. The universe supports what you want, and it will magnify what you focus on. And so she's focusing on love. She's focusing on being grateful. She's focusing on forgiveness. She's focusing on growth. And so that's what's growing. You get it? Okay, that's what we want from you. Switch your mindset. Stop focusing on fear. Stop letting people control you by putting fear bars in your world, pitting you against anybody, letting you label anybody else and separating them from yourself. Realize that you are good. Separation is the tool of the enemy, and now you're going to live in truth. And the truth is we are all together and united against all the evil in the world. And the evil doesn't need to be fought with guns right now. The evil needs to be fought with truth and love.
Prayer.
And we need to show that the enemy, as they inject horrible things into our society and try to pit us against each other, we need to know that that is not us. We need to tell our neighbor that that is not us. We need to tell the people that feel labeled that that is not them. And we need to stand united as a country and stand united as a world against the evil that thinks that we are not worth the scum that they wipe their shoes on. Because we are. We are loved by God, we are united, and we will not be controlled by the United Nations Sustainable Development Prison Planet. Now let's go back to you and your growth, because I want you to notice a few things about what she just told you. She's focused on forgiving people in the past. Why is that important? I'll tell you why it's important. Because if you are walking around with resentment, if you are walking around with things on your shoulder that you just can't get off, which many people might call a chip, that's going to stand between you and loving yourself, because it's a reflection of you. So you need to let those things down, and people that you feel that you've done wrong, let those weights down, and the way you let them down is you forgive them. And she didn't tell you one part of the story. Not only did she stand strong as God gave her the opportunity with the coincidence of this person coming in front of her that she knew in her heart she wanted to forgive, but she stood strong and actually forgave that person. That person did not accept the forgiveness. That's not required. You forgive. Let it off your shoulder. It's up to them for their path. Don't judge them for not accepting your forgiveness.
Yes.
Forgive them. Send them love.
She didn't forgive me, but I was released out of that. Every time I see her, that weight that was
not here anymore.
Yeah, it's all gone. So, and I'm actually going through the people that God brings to mind, because I ask him all the time. I'm like, who do I need to forgive? Who have I offended? Who have I hurt that I don't realize I did? Because I'm human, and we're all human, and hurt people. Guys, it's just the way it is. You have to understand. I'm looking at more at, they're not hurting me, they're hurting them. So what I need to do is pray that they will stop hurting themselves. Just pray for them.
Because they're doing it out of a defensive mode. They're in their ego. They feel like they were offended or whatever it is that makes them feel like they've got to be adversarial, okay? And so they're really in a hurt mode, and they're trying to defend themselves, and so they may lash out and call you whatever they want to call you. And when you realize, like you have, you've come to a place where you realize that's not about you. Their reaction is about them.
It's about them, yeah. It's about what's going on in their life. And if you could just take yourself out of the equation and be like, just sit back and just look at them and be like, what is going on in their life that's causing them to act the way that they are? It's difficult. I'm going through that season right now with somebody that I feel that hates me, and I just gotta let that go, you know? I gotta love on me. Going down this journey, I don't hang out with toxic people anymore. I'm not gonna say I don't pray for them. I'm not gonna say that they don't cross my path, and I don't offer them some type of advice or help them in any way that I can. You know, it just depends on whatever God leads me to do. But I can't have the toxins in my life anymore. I've begun to remove those things, and that's also part of the awakening too. I believe that whole process.
Oh yeah, and it's not as fun and games as it may seem. It'll cause you to cry and allow yourself that, because that's healing, and God's going to break your heart, and that's the way He breaks it open.
Because if some of you guys don't know this, or some of you guys do, but I lost my husband 13 years ago, and I put all of his stuff in the closet, and I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just acted like it didn't happen for a long, long time, and I really didn't cry over it. And 13 years later, I'm crying over it. I'm crying over it.
And there's the healing.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I held back,
If you don't allow yourself to feel your emotions, you're going to suppress them. And if you suppress them, they're just in a box. They didn't go away. They weren't dealt with yet. It's like somebody with an office with all the paper stacked to the ceiling all around them. That's, all their emotions they didn't deal with. And so you probably have a room like that in some respect. And you're just going to go through it, file by file. And you're going to start to deal with those things and forgive people and love yourself and love God and trust the journey and trust and have faith in the love that surrounds you. And even when you're in the midst of that, you're still going to have things that are going to trigger you and they're going to make you feel a little deeper and a little deeper and a little deeper.
Yeah, I'm going through this spiritual journey. That's what we're talking about tonight. We're in the third series tonight, and we've been talking a little bit, if you just joined us, about some really awesome things that were happening in my life that I wanted to share. So you guys can share this video if you really believe that that it's going to help people. I really want you to share it, and because it has helped me so much to sit down with Robert, have him explain everything. It's just been really great to get to the journey where I'm supposed to go. Finally, I'm not in the desert anymore. Praise God.
And one of the key things that you're at a point now is you've developed your voice, you speak your truth, you're owning your space. And so that is what's causing the attraction. That's what's bringing you the joy. That's what's bringing you the synchronicities. That's what's opening your eyes to the signs around you of support. And that's just going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. So I'm so excited for you. The main thing that we have to do when we're in that position, and hopefully you all are in that position now as well. If you're not, you will be shortly. But the main thing is own your space. You're going to have people that are going to get you to try to deny your truth. They may have absolutely no benefit in you denying your truth, and they don't even know why they're trying to get you to deny your truth, but they will try to get you to deny it. And it's really just the universe saying, are you holding your ground? Are you willing to stand for your truth? And what do I mean by the stand for your truth thing? I mean, you're doing, you know what you want to do, you know what you feel, you know it's true to you, you know your passion, and someone tries to tell you no. That's what I mean. That they try to put one of those ego restricting bars on you that say no, you can't follow your truth, you can't follow your passion, that's not valid, you're crazy, or whatever it is that they just try to label you as, because you're going to live in your truth and they don't want you to. So that's when you're going to build your strength. You're going to start standing your ground. You're not going to let people push you around. You're not going to let anybody tell you who you are. You're not going to let anybody tell you how to treat people. You're not going to let anybody tell you who your friends should be. You're not going to let your friends tell you who you should be. You're going to be you. And you're going to be happy to be you. And God's going to support you being you. The universe is going to support you being you. And you're going to start spreading your light and your love, because you're going to accept other people for what? For being them. Not for who you want them to be, not for anything else, but for being them. You're going to accept everybody else with love as they accept you with love. And as you shine your light, you're going to be a lighthouse in the world. You're going to start showing people that division is the enemy. Love is the truth. God is the truth. Divided, we will fall. United, we will stand.
Amen.
And I hate to be a preacher right now, but that's what God asked me to be. And I hope it blesses you what we're doing today, because it's important to us to be giving you everything we can to help you on your journey. That's contribution. And when you realize that contribution should be the source of your passion and the source of your journey and the destination in which you desire, you're going to find that God gives you everything that you need to support you along the way.
And if you don't ask, this is what I've learned in my journey, if I don't ask him, he wants me to ask him. He wants us to ask him. I know it sounds crazy, but like, I asked him. I got on my hands and knees and said, thank you that you're bringing the jobs, God. Please bring the jobs, you know. I asked him for stuff, you know. I'm asking him for the things that aren't coming, you know, but he's getting me the jobs now because I asked him. So,
And that's so critical.
If you don't ask.
Ask. Gotta ask.
What does the Bible say?
Ask and you shall receive. And the thing is that he has a rule. You have a choice. You always have choice. And if you don't ask, you haven't given him the permission to do what he can do for you. So give him the permission by asking.
Or the faith.
Yeah, and the faith.
You definitely have to ask, and then you have to believe that what you are asking for is going to come true.
And give it to him.
And
don't egoize it and start trying to control it.
Yep, which is what I have done for so long. Lived that ego life, and I'm so glad I'm not doing that anymore. It's just crazy. Like when the universe opens up to everybody, it's just like love everywhere. Like everybody I meet, I don't think there's one person that doesn't love me. And I'm not being, you know, like
you've been meeting people of a different energy level.
But I have, and I quit drinking, and I've been sober, and it's different now. It's like now I have really great people coming to me to be my friends, and I'm like blown away. And these people they're on a different level. They really are. I mean, I don't want to say that, you know, like anybody's level is not the right level, because it is for you.
Right.
Every level is
judgment.
Is for you. And what I'm finding is that on my different levels, there's different devils. I'm dealing with different stuff, and that's you just have to work your way through that.
Oh yeah, and you've got lots of stuff ahead of you. So congratulations.
All right, I'm excited.
And you know, I giggle because, you know, I'm still going through the journey too. All of us are, and you know, I've had a rough couple of days where I had some tear-filled moments for sure. But the truth is, after it's all over, you look back and you realize how grateful you are for the blessings that were given to you.
Amen.
In those moments. And so it seems odd to be grateful for those moments of massive, horrible, heartfelt crying. But there, you do get to that place in hindsight.
Yeah, I feel like a waterfall sometimes. I just start bawling. Like, I mean, it's a good thing we're wearing, I mean, I don't want to wear a mask, but at least I can cover half of my face if I've been bawling my eyes out. But
that's God breaking our heart open, so you can feel, because you've been, you know, that you've had this ego world packed around it, and it's been not able to really feel.
So what are we going to talk about next week, Robert, in the 4th series?
Next week we're going to talk about flying, because today you're learning. You got to stand your ground. You got to own your space. You got to speak your truth in order to live it. If you don't speak your truth, you will not live it. It's just impossible to live your truth if you're not speaking it, because people will stomp on it with their egos. And so next week we're going to learn how to fly. And so what we're going to do is we're going to really empower you to take this strength that you've developed as you've learned to speak your truth, and to spread your wings out and start to flap them a little bit. And again, like anything else, you're not going to be perfect. You may fall on the ground and hit your little bill, okay? But you're going to get up again, and you're going to flap some more, and you'll learn to fly.
You know, the eagle, it's interesting. I was writing a children's book about the eagle, and the eagle and the chicken is in the chicken coop, and when the storm comes, the chickens go in the coop, and they don't want to mess with any of the storm. You know, they just want to act like it's not even going on, right?
Right.
And they're so scared that they go in the chicken coop. But the eagle will actually soar above the storm where the sun is shining down on the eagle. And the mother will actually kick the baby eagle out of the nest to fly. what she'll do, which is interesting, is she'll take a piece of branch out at a time and get the stuff that was really comfortable for the little baby bird in their nest, and pull all that stuff out of the nest.
So the bird becomes less and less comfortable.
Yeah, so he's less and less comfortable, and then this may sound cruel, but then the eagle kicks its baby out into flight, literally. Like, I mean, it's crazy.
That is a great metaphor for how God teaches us. He gets us uncomfortable in our ego, and then he slowly keeps pulling out all the things that were comfortable. You're going to find that as you're getting away from your ego, your world will deteriorate and obliterate into something, morph into something completely different you won't recognize anymore, because all that ego junk just kind of gets pulled out of your nest, doesn't it?
Yep, it's just like the toxins in our body, you know. We need to be drinking a lot of water to remove toxins, so we need to do the same thing with our mind. We need to be filling our mind full of positive affirmations, because if what you say is going to happen, it doesn't matter if it's good or if it's bad. This right here can be the enemy if you're saying bad things, but if you're saying good things and you're bringing good things to the universe, that's what's going to happen. That's what I've learned in my whole journey and things. So next week,
let's do 3. Let's say next week we want you to have found 3 people that you needed to forgive, and that you've addressed those 3 people with forgiveness. Whether or not that they receive the forgiveness or not is neither here nor there, as long as you, from love, okay, forgave them and made sure that that was clear, and that you feel in your heart that you have given that forgiveness for 3 people, okay? And then I want you to make sure that you check yourself whenever anybody's starting to put an ego construct over you this week, that you stand your ground and you say your truth, not with meanness or separation or labeling like the media would like us to treat people, but with love and kindness and caring. Stand your ground, say your truth, and be kind, loving, and caring. Okay? So that, I would say, is our homework for this week. And then next week we're going to learn how to fly, which some of you may find as you're doing what we're telling you to do this week, your wings will dry off and you might start to flutter on your own. And I hope that happens for you. If it doesn't, don't feel bad. Don't judge yourself, and don't judge the people around you for their spiritual journey. Each of us is on our own divine timing, but know that we all come together, and we're united, we win, God wins. Yeah. There you go. How are we doing on time?
I'm not sure exactly what time.
Let me check our time. I know we love to talk. Oh, we still have a couple minutes.
But guys, I just want to thank everybody for jumping on here tonight and watching the show. It's been amazing. This show has grown. I'm very, very blessed to have all you guys on here. I can't really see you from here, but I just want to tell you, each and every one of you, I'm really happy that you're on here supporting the show. Please share the show, because not only has this changed my life, it could change somebody else's life.
And let me ask you this, because I haven't asked you this, so I have no idea what the answer is. But in the last week or 2, have you seen that God was able to bless you with watering someone's seed, waking someone up?
Yeah, I've been in a couple of situations where I went to sing, and this girl needed a ride home, and she just let me have it, like told me everything about her, and and I prayed, and I may never see her again, but I just feel like I'm in that process now where wherever I'm at, there's somebody, and there's like somebody there to help. Like, I'm always asking God, who could I help? I wake up every morning, and who could I help today? Like, who can you bring across my path that I can help? And that's my passion, That's why I do this show. So
very cool. Yeah, and so you're going to be blessed with that too. The reason why I brought that up was, as you grow on your spiritual journey, not only does God have plans for you to become a beautiful flower, but also He's going to attract other people to you for you to spread the light to them so that they can find the beautiful flower within them and blossom themselves. And so remember that not only is this journey for you, but it's for the world. It's for everyone. And we're all in this together for real, not like the media, but like loving souls.
Yeah.
And you're a part of me and I'm a part of you, just as Carrie is a part of me and I'm a part of her. United, okay, we are all connected, okay? And so the sooner you understand that and the sooner you start to contribute, the faster we're going to make this world a beautiful place. Heaven is actually here on earth, if you didn't know. It's all around you. God's awakening you to that. And then when we're going to awaken more people, what a beautiful thing.
Amen. So next week we're going to talk about flying. And so you're saying that you think that our viewers would need to forgive and go through that stage, which is basically what I went through this week. Is God brought somebody to mind that I needed to forgive, and that was part of my spiritual journey.
Yeah. Because as you know, if you're heavy, you can't fly, right? You can't be too heavy to fly. And each one of these people that you forgive, there's weights that come off you. Even in the morning when you wake up, you probably feel a little bit lighter than you did before you forgave those people. It's just a weird energy thing.
Yeah, because then when you see them again, you know that you did the right thing for you, so that's self-love.
Right.
And it doesn't matter what they can still be mean or whatever. What I would just say is, God bless you, and I'd walk off. I seriously would. Because I don't feel like going into that negativity ever again.
And again, I've forgiven people that may never forgive me because they're stuck in this picture they have, and it's not my responsibility what they've done in their own heads. So I forgive them for what they've done, and you know, one of the biggest things I think people get a lot of weight and resentment against people is love, because so many people don't really understand real love, and the majority of our populace has lived in ego love for so long that in ego love there's a lot of controlling, dictating, and these kind of things going on, and those things cause resentment and hard feelings. So that may be a good place for you to dig into, is look into old relationships and where they may have tried to control you, dictate
Let
who
it
you
go,
are,
let
all
it
that kind of thing.
go, let it
Just let it go. Because if you don't let it go, it's in your baggage. And if it's in your baggage, when you move into that new world you're trying to move into, it's going to be in your baggage. Get it out of there.
You don't want to take it into your next relationship. That's what a lot of people do. They just, and that's why I'm taking this time right now, like, to just enjoy me and self-love,
Yep. And the truth is, if you're going on the journey appropriately, you're not going to be able to carry that stuff in your baggage and stand in your truth for very long. So you're going to automatically discard things. Like God has actually, the last couple of days, had me going through my stuff and culling things out. And it's amazing the healing that can do. That's something else you could do. You could just say, hey, you know what, I'm going to go through that closet. I'm going to go through that box. I'm going to go through whatever it is that you need to go through. And then cull it out. And you're going to realize that so much of that stuff doesn't fit you anymore. And there's no reason to hold on to it. Yeah. And so let go of your past and start focusing on the now, and then realize your future.
All right, amen. Well, thank you, Robert, for being on tonight.
I'm excited about it. I'm excited about everything that's going on with you. I'm excited about everything that's going on with them.
And I hope that you guys are, taking some notes, because this is really going to help you in your spiritual journey. But Robert, tell them where they can go so that they can find all this information.
Oh yeah, we set up a playlist. If you go onto YouTube, just type in Robert Anderson, that's Anderson, Love, Love, Wins, Wins. Okay, so Robert Anderson, Love Wins on YouTube. And then you're going to click on the playlist. And on the playlist, you're going to see the spiritual journey. And then you can play that, and you'll be able to catch up on all the previous shows. You can play them over and over again. And what you're going to learn as you are going through this process of learning is that you could play one of our shows, right? And you're going to get a real good message out of it, and you're going to be fired up, and you're going to go plug that message into your life. And then if you went back after that and watched that same exact show, you're going to get a completely different message. So I highly recommend, you know, rewatching the shows and actually think about things that you felt were really good for you in the past. And I mean good for you mentally, for your truth. And maybe review those again, because you may have new eyes and new ears now.
Yeah, that's true. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much.